Okay, guys, we're going to be estimating quotients with a decimal point in it. It is just like when we divide, we have to find a compatible number. So let's read our story problem. Carmen likes to ski. The ski resort where she goes to ski gets 3 2/10 feet of snow during a 5-day period. The average daily snowfall for a given number of days is a quotient of the total number of snow and the number of days. Estimate the average daily snowfall. So this paragraph tells us that you can estimate decimal quotients by using a compatible number. When choosing a compatible number, you can look at the whole number part of the decimal dividend or rename the decimal dividend to a tenth or a hundredth, depending on what it is. Well, we've got a tenth here, so if I have 33 whole and 2/10, I really have 32 tenths. So we had two of them estimated, and we want to see which one got closer. Okay, so Carly changed it to 30 tenths because she knew that 30 divided by 5 that 30 is a compatible number to 5. So that equals 6, but we're talking tenths, so it's 6/10 or 6/10, about 6/10. Now, Marco decided to go higher because he knew that 35 divided by 5, 35 was a compatible number of 5, and so that was 7, but where it was 35 tenths here, so if we divided that, that is 7 or 7/10. Because we called it a tenth, we changed it to a tenth, we have to call it a tenth, and we have to put the det in the tenth spot. So if I did here, I'm going to call this, what, 297 tenths divided by 40. Well, that's not a compatible number, but I know 280 is a compatible number with 40. So when I divide that, I just use what I already know. These two cross each other out. So I have 28 divided by 4 is 7. And I know I'm talking tenths, so it's 7/10. Okay? Next one. All right. So they want to estimate, when you estimate a quotient with a compatible number, the number used for the dividend can be greater than the dividend or less than the dividend. You know what? You got to just know, is your answer going to be close, high, or low? We did that when we subtracted decimals. So here they changed. It says here, a group of 31 students is going to visit a museum. The total cost of the tickets is $144.15. So I know I'm going to estimate how much money will each student need to pay for a ticket. So if I estimate this, I got to look for compatible numbers. Well, 31 isn't easy to divide by, but I can change it to 30. So I know that, and when I look for compatible numbers, I just take that 0 off. They just rounded this decimal to a whole number. They said that was close enough. So here's why they did that. I'll tell you in a second. All right. So 144, 150 is close, and I know that 3 can go into 15. Easily, so that's a compatible number, and I get the answer of 5 because the two zeros cross each other out. Well, now I can put those hundredths back in and make it $5. So they paid $5. They just took those out for right now and made them zeros. So we just put them back in. So down here, they did the same thing, but only they went to 30, but they went lower. So they went to $120. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cross out those zeros. I know it's 4, and then I'm going to put those hundredths back in. And so they paid $4. So they wanted to know which one was better. Well, in my opinion, I think the $5 is a better estimate just because 150 is closer to 144 than it is 120 is closer to 144. So that's my reasoning behind that. So if I'm going to do the bottom down here, we're going to use compatible numbers. If I look at this, 28 and 8/10. So I'm just going to think of it as a whole number for right now. And I have 28 divided by 9. Can I do that? Is that a compatible number? No, but 27 is very close to that. And 27 is a compatible number. So if I have, and I'm going to, so if I divide that, I get 3. And I could put a 0 back in here and make it a 10th, but it's 3 whole. All right, because I have a whole number I'm dividing it by. So I'm going to do the same thing here. 41 is too hard to do, so I'm changing it to 40. So now I'm going to look at this answer and I'm going to say to myself, well, what does 4 go into that's close to 393? Well, it's 400, I think. I'm going to cross out my zeros because they cross each other out. But now 4 goes into 40 how many times? 10. I could put the 0 there for that 10th place, but I took it out. So I know it's just 10. Is that reasonable? Yes. All right. Now we have some that we're going to work on our own. And so I want you and your partner to show me what you did, rewrite it as an estimate. I would like you to do these two and then call me over and I want to see how it's going. Then I would like you to do the evens here. Don't worry about these for right now. We will come back to those. This sheet we will come back to. Let's do the evens on here. But we will have already talked to make sure you understand how to do compatible numbers and dividing decimals. On this one, we do 1 or 2 and all of the bottom.